Hey guys, welcome to Wazowski TV Recaps channel. Today I'm going to recap a 2007 animation movie called Meet the Robinsons. There are heavy spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. Lois is an inspiring young inventor who was left at an orphanage by his mother when he was an infant. He has yet to be adopted and feels that he never would be. Convinced that his birth mother will want him, he attempts to invent a memory scanning machine in the hopes that he can find her. He spends all of his time on the project, causing his roommate Goob to stay awake for days. This makes Goob fall asleep during his important Little League game. At Lois' school science fair, Lois is approached by a mysterious boy named Wilbur Robinson, who claims to be a time cop from the future. Wilbur said that a man wearing a bowler hat has stolen a time machine that Wilbur wishes to recapture. The sinister bowler hat guy sends Doris his robotic bowler hat with mechanical arms to sabotage Lois' memory scanner. As Lois begins demonstrating the use of his machine, it explodes, throwing the science fair into chaos. Lois runs out and the bowler hat guy steals his unattended memory scanner. Wilbur tells Lois to go back to the science fair and fix the machine. To prove suspicious Lois that he is from the future, Wilbur takes him to a flying machine to take them to the year 2037, 30 years forward. While giving Lois a tour of the future, Lois realizes he can use the time machine to go back and see his mother. Wilbur insists to go back to fix the memory scanner, and while arguing, they crash the time machine. Wilbur asks Lois to fix it, and Lois agrees under the condition that Wilbur takes him back to visit his mother afterward. Wilbur tries to hide Lois in the garage of his house, but Lois leaves and meets Wilbur's grandfather, Bud. Bud takes Lois on a tour of the house, during which Lois meets the rest of the fun-loving and overly eccentric Robinson family. Wilbur explained that his father, the only member of the Robinson family that Lois did not meet, invented several futuristic inventions earlier seen, including the time machine, coining the motto "Keep moving forward." Despite being provided with blueprints, Lois is unable to repair the time machine. Meanwhile, bowler hat guy and Doris follow Wilbur and Lois to the future and attempt to kidnap Lois so he can show them how his memory scanner works after failing to demonstrate it at the Inventor. Meanwhile, the Robinsons offer to adopt Lois, but change their mind when they consider that he is from the past. Lois runs away in misery after finding out Wilbur lied to him about going back to see his mom, and encounters the bowler hat guy who lures him into his time machine by promising to bring him to his mother. Lois shows the bowler hat guy how to operate his memory scanner in a dark room, but the latter goes back on his word and ties him up. Lois questions what the bowler hat guy has against him. He reveals that Lois is Cornelius Robinson, making Wilbur his son and the Robinsons his family. As Lois grapples with the revelation, he repeats his previous question. The bowler hat guy flips on a light, revealing that they are in Lois' old room at the orphanage, or as he claims, their old room. He reveals himself as an aged Goob. He tells Lois that he is to be blamed for the miserable life of Goob, having kept him sleep-deprived, causing him to lose his Little League game. Goob obsessed over this defeat, scaring away his chances at adoption, and stayed at the orphanage after it closed down, eventually coming to blame Lois for his misery. Goob initially intends to get revenge by vandalizing Robinson Industries, only to meet Door 15, failed and abandoned invention of Cornelius. They cooperate to steal the time machine, able to steal it because Wilbur forgot to lock the garage door and plotted to use it to capture and plagiarize Lois' first famous invention, to ruin Lois' career as an inventor. Lois warns that their actions may drastically alter the future, but Goob doesn't care. Lois tells his old friend that he should just let go of his past and keep moving forward, incidentally reciting his future motto. However, Goob finds it more convenient to blame Lois. Goob and Doris prepare to present the stolen invention to Inventor in the past. Wilbur and his robot Carl save Lois and the memory scanner and escape. As they make their way back to the Robinsons' house, Lois punches Wilbur in the shoulder for failing to lock the garage door, revealing that he knows he is his father. Then suddenly, Doris destroys Carl and steals back the memory scanner, running to Goob as the time machine vanishes. The scenery around Lois and Wilbur darkens, and Wilbur vanishes into oblivion as history is being rewritten. Lois enters the derelict house and discovers that the memory scanner in the garage. Viewing its records, he discovered that after mass production the memory scanner, Goob also mass produces DOS, whereupon the multitude of robotic hats took control of their wearers, something Goob hadn't planned. The Robinsons' utopian future is replaced by a DOS-controlled, smog-darkened industrial empire, with mankind reduced to slaves. Pursued by an army of Door 15 hats, Lois managed to repair the time machine and use it to go to the precise moment and location where Goob signs the contract at Inventor. Lois causes Doris to disappear into oblivion by promising that he will never invent her. Lois then shows Goob the bleak future Doris would have created, which is transformed before their eyes back into the utopian future. After they land near the Robinson house, Wilbur is brought back into existence. Lois gets Wilbur to offer for the Robinsons to adopt Goob, but Goob, ashamed of what he has done, hides and then walks off uncertain of what to do. Cornelius returns from his business trip and panics upon discovering the time machines to be missing before meeting his younger self. Cornelius shows Lois his lab and points out the memory scanner, the invention he was most proud of. He reminds Lois that the future is never set in stone and what matters is what he does in the present. Wilbur fulfills his promise to Lois by visiting the moment at which his mother abandoned him. Lois nearly interrupts her from leaving the infant but stops, choosing his Robinson future over a childhood with his mother. Finally, Lois returns to his own time and prevents Goob from becoming the bowler hat guy by waking him up in time to catch the ball that lets him win the game. Lois then returns to the science fair and demonstrates his memory scanner on the science fair judge, revealing that she is Lois' adopted mother, Bud, and Lucille adopted Lois, who nickname him Cornelius, and sets to work building Carl in an observatory bought by Bud and Lucille, which becomes the Robinson house one day. With this, the movie ends. Hope you enjoyed the recap. See you soon with a recap of a new movie. Till then, stay happy and chill out.